Hey everybody, good evening to another Coach's Corner. It's a wonderful Thursday evening once again. And we have such a great opportunity right now to have our two guests. Our guest co-host right now, Miss Coach Kathi Reneses with me tonight again. And of course, we have a special guest tonight, Coach JM Ang. Hello. So maybe Kathy,
Good
go ahead.
evening. Good evening. Wala lang. Good evening lang. How are you guys doing tonight? I love that because we have JM on tonight. We have the matching sound effects. So,
Yeah.
Ayan, palakpakan naman para sa
Yun.
lahat.
we have a very entertaining
Not only
coaches quarter in store for us tonight. Yeah.
Not only that, super ingay. Yeah, so thank you everybody for watching tonight. Actually, we have a great conversation tonight. The reason why Coach JM is here tonight is JM is actually a wealth coach, and he's also a financial planner and a unit manager under Sunlife. So he's basically everything that he's doing all has to do with money. So when we talk about money, ang taas ng energy, diba? Pagka pera. So pati humor pa niya, grabe, doble. Okay, so for tonight, welcome Coach JM Ang.
Yan. Thank you so much for that introduction, Coach Charlo. Diba? Meron tayong sound effects.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to introduce myself. What's up, everyone? I'm JM, and I'm just really honored to be part of this Coach's Corner and talk about anything about money and or actually, ang topic natin, savings crisis.
Savings crisis,
yeah.
Halo pala ang topic natin for this evening. So welcome everyone. I hope you're all excited for this evening kasi magkukwentuhan, magtatawanan, di ba? Mga ganyan. And matututo pa tayo at the same time, di ba?
Yan.
Yeah.
So maybe JM, before we start, maybe you can tell everyone what are you doing in terms of who you are, because you're a tax accountant, you're a Sunlife manager. Actually, lahat very cohesive.
You're a lot of
in terms of everything, all about pera, grabe. So maybe talk about a little bit about yourself so people can know to get to know you better.
Oh, great. Sige. Introduce ko sarili ko. What do I do? So basically, I'm a tax accountant by profession. I've been doing this for the past 10 years. I really love what I do. And actually, it all started way back 10 years ago. If you guys could relate to me nung 10 years ago, bata ka pa lang, sabi sa'yo ng magulang mo, mag-aral ka mabuti. Yan. So nag-aral ako mabuti dahil doon. I got into numbers and lo and behold, with sobrang opposite pa siya sa ugali ko kasi if you guys know me so well, sobrang ako. Ganito. Baliw. Di ba? So, baliw-baliwan lang. But I was into numbers. I was able to do a lot of things. So, while being a tax accountant, I also did nagturo ako before sa Lasal. So, I used to be a teacher for 2 years and I really loved teaching. And nung time na yon, I transitioned to corporate after working for an audit firm. I transitioned to corporate and then from then on, dahil in love ako talaga sa teaching, hindi ako pinayagan magturo habang nasa corporate. So, I got into Sunlife. Yan. So, from then on, biglang naging, namin is teaching financial literacy to different people. So, talaga, biglang naging aligned kasi I love teaching. Tapos, I got into I know a lot about numbers. Tapos, through experience, nahilig kagad ako sa investments when I was 21 pa lang. Nag-invest ako sa stocks. Inaral ko yung mga libro, pagka downtime ko, nagbabasa ako ng books, nagre-read ako ng mga articles. So yun, hanggang sa naipon yung knowledge na yun, nung time na dumating yung opportunity, I got invited by my friend, si Don. Hi Don, so kumandyan siya. So I got invited by him to be a financial advisor and wealth coach. And yun, nandito na tayo, 2021, doing different webinars, doing different talks from taxation, from wealth, from psychology of money, hanggang ito mga live sessions na.
Yeah, that's one. Grabe, no? Sobrang aligned ang buhay mo, no? And everything is all about wealth or all about money and finance. Wonderful. So maybe for tonight, no, we talked about the topic is the savings crisis. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about why, Kathy, so why did we even think na ito yung topic natin? Ikaw naman.
Okay, sige. Well, I think little known to people who know us, I think, is that the one thing that all three of us have in common is we actually all have finance backgrounds. So yeah, JM had his journey. Kahit hindi halata, and I don't do it now, I actually took up international business and economics back in college na never kong nagamit. So this is the extent. Alam mo yan, like I think we all love to read and just expand our knowledge about our personal finance. I know that's always been a topic that me and Charlene, like we love to talk about, like, oh, what are you doing? What are you investing in? What's happening? And as I do my coaching as well, with my clients, I realized that a lot of the struggle, at least like pre-pandemic, was really being able to save. Like, ang dami nating pangarap, ang dami nating gustong gawin, but the biggest kind of roadblock or barrier to entry for a lot of us is that we don't have the money to do it. We don't have the savings. And, talking to a lot of the clients about like the big why, like I really, really want to do it. Pero the pinaka pain point really is they don't know how to save, or that there is a lot of guilt and shame. Kasi, ay, kailangan ko paaralin yung kapatid ko, kailangan ko paaralin si ganyan, or kailangan ko buhayin yung magulang ko. So they keep putting themselves last. And the reason why we called it a savings crisis is because this has been our cycle na, no? I think lalo na as Filipinos, because we're always obliged to like help a relative.
Yeah.
Right? Or like help our magulang. Like pinaaral tayo ng magulang natin, so when they get older, utang na loob natin na buhayin sila.
Yes.
Right? And while that's been a cycle for a long time, I think the problem, especially now, is with a crisis, with people, with a pandemic, with people losing their jobs, et cetera, the focus really has come back na to wait, paano ako? Like now that we're in survival mode and that we're reassessing our life, I think this is something that really need to talk about, really, that we're in a savings crisis right now. Not all of us have enough savings, even if we'd worked for 10, 15, 20 years, we don't have enough savings for ourselves because we always tend to spend it on other people, or takot, or ano tayo, because napakakampante tayo na like we have daddy, mommy, tita, lola, like paying for a lot of our bills, or because we live at home, napupunta siya sa mga luho natin. And then now that we're kind of in a crackdown and in a lockdown, we realized that, we don't have as much as we thought we did in the bank.
Well, yeah, I just want to just say that I think for me, the reason why the savings crisis is the fact that, like Kathy has said, that I actually started doing a financial webinar. So I started looking at the statistics, and I really got parang depressed to a point na to know that, that there are like around 9 million senior citizens in the Philippines. And out of the 9 million, 80% of them are actually unable to take care of themselves at their age, at 60 years old and older. And looking at the life expectancy right now, 71 years old is the average. But in reality, 2% are still alive until the age of 99.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So, 2% of 107 million people, right? 2%. 2% of hundreds, that's still how many millions of people, senior citizen, and then out of that, 30% are living in poverty. And 80% of them are living with their children. Right? And so when I start thinking about this, sabi ko, oh my God, I don't want to get to a point na I'm dependent on anybody else. Right? And so I started, and that's parang like a trigger yan ng pandemic. Trigger ng pandemic yan. And now when I started looking at all these studies, and they're saying now that people are more aware that they need to save, but more than wanting to save, they're actually looking first is the active income. Kasi wala pa silang passive. Wala pa silang passive, wala silang pera para mag-invest para para may savings. So basically, ang problema ngayon, how do I earn more so I can save more?
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
So yun nangyari. Wala ka man lang mapasok kung may funnel to, wala man lang akong mapasok dito kasi lahat nakukulog na, butas. So para akong may butas sa bulsa.
And I think that that's been the major problem, right? With us, with why a lot of people hirap mag-save. Like, there is always a reason why we cannot save. I'm pretty sure, JM, you get that with a lot of your clients also.
Oh, definitely. As in, whenever we do coaching sessions and wealth coaching sessions, pagkadating talaga sa mga actual, yung mga realizations, whenever they go to, oh, ano ba yung sinesave mo? What are you saving up for your future? Tapos, they just stop. They just stop and then they'll go, meron ba ako dapat na sisave? Meron pa ba akong matitira? Or, diba? Yun pa yung common question, common na sasabihin nila sa akin is, meron bang matitira para sa akin? Meron pa ba?
Yeah, and I think marami din, hindi nila iniisip na magre-retire talaga sila. As in, when do you say retire? Kasi supposed to be, hindi ka na magtatrabaho, di ba? Pero I guess the mindset ng maraming tao, even the ones who are senior citizen, they're thinking, oh, I'm never gonna stop working. At 88 years old, I'll still be like chugging along, doing the work because I don't have anything like to fall back on.
Yeah, and that's their reality.
Yeah, and for me at my age, I started thinking, oh my God, I don't want to be in that situation. I really have to start thinking of where am I gonna live at the age of 70 or 80 years old. Especially the fact that I don't have children, right? Who's gonna take care of me?
I think that is such a common belief system as well. Like, I remember like when my dad was still alive, and he was kind of like, oh, so kailan mo balak magpakasal? Ano na plano mo sa buhay mo? And like, for some reason, my future was tied to pagpapakasal, and I was like, why are you so atat na magpakasal ako? Eh, di pa nga ako ready. And he was like, well, no, so you can have kids. And his main concern for me was, sino mag-aalaga sa'yo pag tanda mo? And I'm like, I don't know, like a nurse? Like, I don't know. Like that was so not that was so not what I was thinking. But for him, like, that was the concern. It's kind of like kids equal, you have like somebody to take care of you when you get older.
Yeah, personal alalay pala yun, no?
Ako hindi. Ako ang iniisip ko when I say that, I need money so I can hire how many people to just move me around wherever I want to go. So habang nag-enjoy ako, parang, oh, go, I want to go there, drive me there, or push me there, or push me there.
Tama naman yun.
Diba? Kasi ayoko maging dependent because I don't want to be a burden. I think that's one of the things that are, like you said, na maraming kabataan ngayon when you're doing the coaching, they're really surprised that they don't have money for themselves.
Not even kabataan. Like my clients are like in their mid-40s. You know, so just being in their mid-40s and saying na, you know, what I have is like sakto lang for me and whoever it is na pinapaaral, binubuhay, etc. You know, so when I ask this, so can you at least save, let's say, like 10% of your income? Kaya ba? And I don't know, like what I keep getting is they keep thinking of ways to give their money away instead of ways to save. Does it make sense? You guys get that also? It's kind of like, oh, let's think up of creative ways in order to like save your money. So what can we do? But on their end, it's a lot of what are creative ways that I can spend my money.
I know what I'm getting from that, Kathi, is yung ang common na sinasabi sa akin is gagawa ng, hindi lang ways gumagawa ng rason.
Exactly.
Para ma-justify. They're justifying things that you want to buy. And same then. I think personally then I have that own reasoning that whenever I buy something, for example, I'm gonna buy a new cell phone. Common when you're gonna buy a new cell phone, to justify mo bakit ka bibili na mas mahal. To justify mo bakit iPhone, bakit hindi Samsung, bakit hindi Realme, or bakit hindi Xiaomi. Yan, diba? Mga brands na, wow, galing China. Diba? To justify mo, hindi, kailangan yung branded. Yan. yung conversation lagi, you're gonna justify, find a way and a
Yeah.
reason to just to
Yeah.
buy something.
And I guess that's the reason why I go back. It's really our belief system, and we just create reasoning or excuses to justify the beliefs that we have. And so maybe that's the reason why we're also in a savings crisis. I guess I just wonder how many people right now in the midst of this pandemic really are in the mindset of I should be saving more than I should be spending.
Well, I think there's been a flip ever since this pandemic happened. Now, a lot of people kind of woke up to the reality of I can't be living like how I was living before this happened because job security, because like nobody's really sure of what the future is bringing. But for me, like it's a good thing that this pandemic woke a lot of people up. But at the same time, it's also kind of bad because you're learning to save out of the mindset of scarcity and not out of the mindset of abundance. You're not excited na, uy, ito na naipon ko. So like, I can invest this in this, or I can finally buy this for myself. It's more of, kailangan ko mag-ipon. Ipon lang kasi hindi sigurado yung kinabukasan ko. Hey, John. Hi, John. John says, I usually challenge friends to an amount instead of a percentage, especially if it's their first time saving. That's a good mindset. And what I like with John said is it's a barkada, so pare-parehas na kayo ng mindset. And I think going back to what Charlene said, getting out of the mindset that you grew up in with regards to how your parents handled money.
Yeah, exactly.
Having that awareness and stepping back and telling yourself, is this what I want for myself also? I think is a huge, huge aha moment for a lot of people. Parang, just asking, yung magulang mo ba marunong mag-ipon? And nag-iipon ba sila out of abundance or out of scarcity? Hi, tita!
Hi daw po.
Hi!
Mga friends ko, going live kami sa Facebook ngayon. Nakita niyo kumakain nanay ko.
Cute ng mami mo. Hi, tita!
Nakikita po nila. Hi po sa lahat na nanonood. This is my mom. And hindi ko halatang 47 siya.
Sweet mom.
70 na talaga siya.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday this year. Kailan mo birthday ni mom?
Sa August pa.
August. Happy birthday.
August 70. Oh, diba?
Wow! Congratulations. That's a wonderful age. And you don't look like your age, by the way.
Ang gaganda niyo daw.
Hi, Ronald.
Favorite na namin si tita.
I super liked it when we were there and doing the discovery. Ulitin natin, tita.
You guys did that pala.
Yeah, they did discovery here.
Yeah, we did discovery. Hello.
Oh.
Yeah.
Parang mas maganda ka ngayon.
Mas maganda ka rin ngayon.
Diba?
Yan ang benefit ng COVID.
You have time na to focus on yourself. Game. Going back to the savings.
Going back.
Ano tayo? So
I think it's really I think it's really mindset, no, when we talk about savings. But maybe that's what we need to ask everyone out there, even Ronald and John, if you're there. Maybe what you can answer for us is when you talk about savings, what does it mean for you when you talk about savings? I think that's the first question that I want to ask.
Yeah.
You, JM, Coach JM.
Okay, sige. Alam mo ba, actually na-stun kasi ako dun sa sinabi ni John na gustuhan ko kasi yan. Kasi unang-una, I remember way back, siguro mga 6-7 years ago, when we did a numbers focused. Kasi we were saving up for a travel. So, iba kasi yung percentage. Kasi, hindi, for example, ako, I was trained na hindi naman alam ng sweldo ng mga friends ko. So kami, pagka nag-percentage ka, nag-work back ka.
Yeah.
So malalaman mo bigla yung mga numbers ng payslip ng friends mo. So ang ginagawa namin, nag-hit na lang kami ng specific amount na gustong
Secret.
Oo, para daw hindi mahalata yung percentage na tinatabi. Pero it's really, iba pa rin kasi pagkasama-sama kang ginagawa.
Yeah, like you're accountable. Like you have people
definitely.
that hold you accountable to a certain number or goal or whatever. And I think that's what makes it work. Saka medyo mas may excite ka pag alam mo may karamay ka.
Oh yeah,
Right.
totoo.
So so going back, JM, sagutin mo muna what the savings mean for you.
Well, savings means sagutin ko na nga eh. Savings for me is actually, it's a safety net. It's a safety net for your life. Depende kasi yan sa pagiging lifestyle mo, if you're living, lalo na it's going to be ba yung income mo ngayon? If I know my own income ngayon, how I'm living my life. For example, I live in a condo. Medyo mabigat pagka condo, 'di ba? Mas mahal yung mga asok juice. Tapos may mga other fees pa na binabayaran. And on that end, isipin ko kagad, okay, so ano yung safety net ko? Kasi pagka pinag-usapan mo from safety net, it's something na, okay, so ito yung savings na kailangan ko matabi. Kasi alam kong just in case may mangyari, boom, may mahuhugutan tayo. So that's actually
nice.
From where I'm coming from.
Wonderful. I'll just share what John is saying. Sabi niya, savings is paying for a time that you don't have to work in the future. So talagang it's really taking care and preparing for that future wherein you can just luxuriate. Pwede ba yung word na yan? Yung parang hindi ka na lang
Created the word.
Luxuriate. Yun na lang yung gagawin mo na hindi ka na talaga magtatrabaho, not even lift a finger.
Oh, yeah. Exciting yun, no? Pagka ganun, I think iba rin yung nakikreate na, in terms of mindset, iba yung nakikreate if you're focusing on ano ba yung may experience ko sa future.
Yeah.
Kasi yun yung mga binibuild na mindset that whenever I ask yung like my clients, pagka ask ko sila, ano ba yung gusto mo ma-experience sa future? What's the desire you want to achieve? Ano ba to? Is it a desire to masaya ka, nakangiti? Or is it a desire na nakahiga ka tapos wala ka pang bayad? Diba? I mean, you're creating that contrast para ma-ensure mo na on their end, ayoko naman ng ganun. Ayoko naman ng 95 na ako, tapos wala naman nang hihingi akong pera. Diba? I mean, kanya-kanya yan eh.
Yeah. Kaya sa akin, ang meaning ng saving sa akin is peace of mind. Right? So, saving sa akin is really peace of mind. Kasi ngayon, pag iniisip mo, pag tinatanong ko yung mga tao, how much do you need for your retirement? So, kinakalculate mo per month magkano kikitain mo, diba? Magkano kailangan. So, alam mo, they always say, siguro yung pinaka-minimum. Sabi ko, oh my God, imagine mo, senior citizen ka na, pagkatapos parang pinaka-minimum or parang pulubi ka mamuhay. Parang it's not fun.
Living.
It's not living that way. So I'd rather look at a higher number, and then because you know for a fact that you're gonna not mind anything. It's peace of mind talaga. Like you don't have to worry about anything else.
Yeah.
How about you, Kath?
For me, savings is more of a jump off point for what else I want to do in life. That's how I like to think about it. Coming from me, like I used to have a very bad relationship with savings. More so because like I grew up with, my dad was the one that would just provide everything. I didn't have to worry about anything. I like kampante ako na kahit gastusin ko yung buong sahod ko, nandiyan pa rin yung daddy ko para saluhin ako. So when he passed away, that was a huge kind of wake-up call for me that wait lang, I can't enjoy the level of like luxury that I was enjoying when he was still alive. But I still wanted to maintain that lifestyle. So what did I need to do in order to make that happen? And that was the switch for me. I used to think of savings as my dad was basically my save. He was my ATM. puro withdraw, walang deposit. So parang waking up and just having that realization na, you know what, I want to maintain this lifestyle. What do I need to do para kahit ano mangyari sa akin, I can still live a comfortable life? And that's where my idea of savings kind of changed.
Yeah.
Kasi before it was like, oh, I would save if let's say I wanted to buy a new phone. Mag-iipon ako to buy a new phone. And when that was said and done and I have the new phone na, no need to save na, you know? So yeah, that was a wake up point. So I think changing the meaning of what savings means to me really kind of helped change my mindset around it as well.
Yeah. I just wanna share, no? Kasi kanina kami ni JM, nag-uusap kami. And I was just saying to him, when all my life corporate, diba? Yung corporate kasi lahat, meron kang phone, meron kang car, meron kang computer,
HMO,
meron kang lahat.
everything.
Oo, lahat covered, diba?
Bigay na lahat.
Bigay, actually lahat free, diba? Para kang may tatay. Like we said, yung corporate, yung tatay yung corporate ko din, diba? Tapos biglang umalis ka. So naging
Yeah.
black sheep ka na ng pamilya, diba? Black sheep, kasi umalis ka na ng bahay. Biglang lahat babayaran mo. Kaya for me, yung savings is telling me, I can still afford everything, right?
Yeah.
Pero but there's still a mindset that says, why should I pay for that? It was free, and now I have to pay for it.
I think that's where passive income and investment comes in, which is why I said savings is a good jumping off point, because if you have a certain amount in the bank, nakampante ka, then the excess you can put towards other things like growing your income, growing the stuff that's in the bank,
Yeah,
etc.
yeah.
And I think like that's the long-term visioning that a lot of us still don't have kasi hindi siya naturo sa atin. So like in if you didn't grow up, like for me, like I was such a nerd growing up, and I loved Robert Kiyosaki. Like I love Stephen Covey. Like through those books really gave me a whole new mindset and appreciation for how to look at money, and like how to look at how to make money and how to save money as well. And I think yun yung wala talaga sa atin. It's not, our parents don't teach it.
Yeah.
Wala siya sa education system natin.
Not just curriculum.
Wala talaga siya sa curriculum. It's something that you really have to look for. But then, even before you look for it, you have to have that awareness na parang may kulang sa akin pagdating dito. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't realize. Kasi parang that's their normal na eh. Alam mo yun, like, ever since yung kalolololohan ko, they have always pinaaral yung panganay, and then the panganay will take care of the other siblings. And that's just how it was done. Or, ever since kasi parang pag tumanda na sina lolo, ganyan, dito na sila sa atin. And kahit pamilyado ka na, may anak ka na, kailangan mo pa rin silang isama sa pagbabudget mo because that's how things are done. And we're guilted. Diba? There's a lot of guilt, a lot of shame that goes around, ay, hindi mo afford. Sila nga, pinaaral ka, And I think like that is a belief system that we need to start talking about, especially with our generation, kasi we're moving forward na eh, but we can't if we still keep that all that guilt and shame with regard to saving and taking care of ourselves first before we take care of other people.
Yeah. So John is saying, I think he was commenting with what I was saying earlier, sabi niya, that's why we budget, when you realize that there are areas you have to pay for once before they're free. Yeah, but I guess what I was saying is not that I cannot afford it. It's that I don't want to pay for it. Kasi free siya dati. I don't want to pay for it. Kaya I guess, kaya importante talaga yung mindset, diba? Yung mindset mo na talaga nag-a-adjust. Sabi nga nila, diba, yung mindset mo 0 to 7 years old. But I was saying, yes, 0 to 7 years old is only up to a time. After that, your experience in life actually changes and you create new habits. And so, especially for people that were really used to getting corporate world and then you're now on your own, there's a huge jump, right? From corporate ka na baby ka, tapos pagdating yun, Pag naging entrepreneur ka, mag-isa ka, bahala ka on your own. If you don't do anything, you don't get anything, right?
Oh,
So I
yeah.
think that's a
Definitely.
different, yeah, that's a different thinking now. And that's also a different thinking when it comes to savings. It's actually both an active and passive work. It's not necessarily passive lang na, oh sige, savings is very, you don't do anything. It's actually both active and passive together. I think that's
Mhm.
how I see savings to be. It should be like you have to give and receive together in order for you to build it.
Mm.
What do you think, JM? Ikaw?
Ako na, yeah, I agree with that at a certain extent. Pagka inisip ko kasi, kailangan mo kasing gawan ng paraan.
Yeah.
In the first, you need to do something to develop a savings plan. You need to do something in the first place para meron kang ma-save in the first place, right?
Yeah.
At yung passive side doon is, once it becomes a habit, it doesn't become an active thing that you do.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. I remember, nakarelate ako doon sa mention mo, Kathi, a while ago, yung sa Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Mhm.
When I read that in high school, hindi
Yeah.
ko alam sino nagregalo sa akin. I just found it somewhere, Rich Dad, Poor Dad for Teens. Tapos nung nabasa ko siya, as in dun sa kapang mind blown, na kailangan ko pa na mag-save. Parang yung allowance ko, I mean, back then, pagka private school, medyo malaki yung allowance. Tapos pagka, anong gagawin ko dito? 30 pesos, makakakain na ako. Edi yung excess, itatabi ko na lang.
Mhm.
So, from then on, pagka inisip ko ngayon, ano bang, ang dami pa palang pwedeng gawin in terms of savings. Kasi, kung yung actively doing it, from the time na nag-shift na siya into something na, automatic na siya, habit na siya na nagtatabi ka,
Yeah.
nagiging basic.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Pero
Yeah.
kasi nga, when you talk about passive income din, ang sinasabi din natin ng passive is, it never changes din, right? Kasi there are passive income naman na talagang dapat mo pag-aralan. Katulad niyan, dati, one of the passive income is only mutual fund. Diba? Nag-change kasi ngayon yung mga investments. Ngayon, yung Bitcoin, hindi yan pwede passive. Kung iwan na yung Bitcoin mo dyan, baka zero, negative ka na by the next day or next week. So, iba-iba, I guess, in terms of the investments that you do. But let's talk more about the belief system. Bakit kaya may crisis? Bakit kaya may crisis tayo ngayon?
That's a good question.
Well, I think like what I had mentioned before, it really starts with the belief systems that we grew up with regard to money. You know, like sino sa atin grew up with their parents being transparent, talking about money in the household. You know, like I didn't. Like I said, I thought my dad was like an unlimited ATM, you know? Like, kahit ano mangyari, nandyan si Airpat. Okay lang, sasaluhin niya ako. I had no idea about, you know, like about saving and about like what went into earning money until I started making money and I saw yung kaltas ng tax and I was like, wait, 32%? Wait. You know what I mean? Like that's when I started to see the value. But you know, I came into it with a very kind of bad, but with some very bad habits when it came to savings and when it came to money. But for me, I also had that awareness nga because you know, reading all of these books, learning about all these alternative mindsets, right? The Robert Kiyosaki, I think one of his most popular is, you know, his poor dad said, you know, go to a good school so you can, you know, get good grades and work for a good company, where rich dad was like, you know, yeah, go to a good school, get good grades so one day you could run a good company. And it was those small changes in my mindset that actually kind of pushed me towards, I want to be more of an entrepreneur. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to build for myself. And one of the foundations of that really is I have to have money. Hindi ka pwedeng gumalaw na walang pera.
Yeah.
So, right? So then it kind of became, okay, what do I need to do? Because what I'm earning right now isn't enough to get me started. And that's where you kind of get creative of, sige, maybe I could do the side hustle, or maybe I can do this. And, you know, that's what, at least for me, that's what kind of, in terms of mindset, switched from that mindset of scarcity, of operating out of I need to survive, into abundance, right? Working out of that energy of I am thriving and I am excited and money comes to me easily and effortlessly. But I think it really starts with being aware of what is that programming in the back of your head when it comes to money, and is there any guilt and shame there that you need to kind of work through and process? Because for a lot of people, at least in my experience with coaching, that is the pinaka barrier to entry in terms of their success. Kasi feeling nila ang laki ng utang na loob nila sa ibang tao that they will put other people first before them. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Kasi nga, I guess it's really also how we grew up as well. Well, kasi sa amin naman, it's not, I guess when, just by experience alone, I think for our family, we never encountered, immediate family, we never encountered naman that our senior citizen or people older than us are very dependent on us financially. So I guess it never dawned on me that I have to take care of my parents. And good thing that they're financially healthy. They're financially secure. So thank God. I mean, thank God they're financially secure.
But then again, like, I'm pretty sure if me and JM did a little bit of digging into your history, then your parents were probably very, like, financially capable. They were very, financially intelligent.
Yep.
And they probably also had a lot of very good values with regard to money that they passed on to you.
I that's why I kept on wondering it. Kasi I never read Rich Dad Poor Dad when I was growing up. I saw the book. I never read the book.
Yeah.
I only read the book when at 3 years ago. I only read it like how many years ago? But then I guess it's really, I don't know what was passed on. Maybe it's ingrained, but not very subtle. Is not really being aware of it. But for me, kasi importante for me was really savings. So I guess maybe the negative, which was we have to save. I think the money mindset was really, you need savings, because when I grew up we weren't rich when growing up. So I experienced a lot of times when I saw my mom borrowing money, and asking for others and being dependent on them. And I guess that really brushed off on me and saying, I don't want to be like that.
Yeah.
So that mindset for me was, I have to be independent on my own. I have to earn. And so that was the one that clicked to me.
That's the experience you had growing up.
Yeah. And I saw that they were fighting about money. Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, same.
Pag naririnig mo yun, talagang parang, oh shit, I have to have that money or else. Or else. Yun yung nangyari sa... Oo, yung negative experience, yun yung nagdadala sa akin, nagdadrive sa akin.
Yeah.
And so I just want to share, sabi ni John, crisis happens when people become confused and being content maybe, and being complacent. So yun din.
Being content versus being complacent, yeah.
Content versus what? But content is being complacent.
Yeah, could you mind explaining that a little bit more, John?
Habang ina-explain niya, meron ako naalala lang dyan sa
mention
niyo a while ago. Ano ba yung sa in terms of family, naalala ko tuloy gano'ng katabu yung money, na when I was talking to my mom, hindi kanina lang a few years na, nagkukwentuhan kami. So we were kasi when my dad passed, ang kwentuhan, paano naging okay yung relationship niyo? We never talked about money. Sabi niya sa akin, parang ko, funny thing, no? They never talked about money. Tapos nung nag-pass away dad ko, so kami nag-asikaso na ng business, nung nakikita namin yung inflow, parang, okay naman pala yung inflow, Tapos nung binabalikan namin yung in terms of yung mga laman, magastos lang dad ko. Kaya saktong-sakto lang yung money. I mean, ako personally, yung naging experience ko kasi, madalas kasi kami nako-compare ng brother ko growing up. So, on my end.
But like but just to be clear, like you and your brother, super laki ng age gap nyo, right?
13 years.
Not really. 13 years.
13 years. Yeah, it's a big gap. It's a big gap. So parang ate ko si Charles, ganun. Ganun yung level ng layo. And kasi parang biruin mo, they had a restart. Hindi umabot ng high school brother ko. Nung pinanganak ako, restart sila. Oh, okay, so ano yung mga ginawa natin noon? Try natin ibahin. So they were stricter sa side ko. Yung brother ko maraming binibigay na, like he had a car when he was 13. Ako nung time ko, nagka-car na ako nung nag-work na ako.
13?
Oo. So ako 20 plus na ako nagkaroon ng car. Tapos ano pa yun? Yung mindset ko noon, hindi, ayoko po ng car. Kasi binigay nyo kay kuya, tapos nireklamo nyo na, binigay kasi namin lahat kay kuya. Tapos, kuya mo hindi marunong mag-commute, di dapat natuto ako mag-commute. Nagko-commute ako papuntang office, papuntang school, MRT, bus, nag-jeep ako papuntang, sa Binondo pa yung office namin before. Jeep ako mula school papuntang Binondo. Kasi yun yung na-ingrain sa akin, okay, dapat magtipid ako kasi magastos daw yung lifestyle ng kuya ko nung bata siya. And I think yun yung naging, yung on my end, naging parang reaction ko tuloy sa situation was, okay, dahil sa magastos sila nung panahon ng kuya ko, sa akin, masaya naman ako. Masaya ako dun in terms of savings-wise. I know I can save. Alam kong masaya na ako sa life ko na yung hindi ko kailangan hindi ko kailangan sobrang garbo. Like, for example, a car with a lot of subwoofers. Kung magkaka-car man ako, yung pwede ko lang masakyan, malagyan ng gas, umaandar, dadalhin ako sa Makati, sa QC.
Pero ang ganda, I guess your experience made you who you are right now. I mean, right now you're successful, you're doing so well. And it's coming from really being so independent at the young age.
Yeah.
Kasi katulad ngayon sa akin, kung sabihin mo sa akin mag-jeep ako, sabihin ko, ha? Ha? Saan yung jeep? Saan ako pupunta? Hindi ko alam.
Wala naniniwala sa akin na nag-jeep ako noon. Kasi nung nag-work ako sa Makati. Sabi, jeep? Sige nga, magkano ang fare? 8 pesos? Wow, galing Chambalero ka. Parang kulong.
yung time lang ako nag-jeep. Okay, yung time lang ako nag-jeep. Yung Ateneo, di ba kasi merong jeep umiikot sa compound.
Lang
private jeep pa yung sinakyan.
Pagkatapos, at saka private jeep, yun lang yung experience ko. Kaya hindi ako marunong, kunyari pupunta ako from Makati to Pasay. Have no idea what jeep to take. Oy, meron si Lian. Hello, Lian. Sabi niya, Coach JM Ang.
What's up? Hello.
Yes.
Yun. So anyway, so JM, what have you grown in terms of savings ngayon? Ano naman yung experience mo ngayon with how you're saving? What's your experience now?
Siguro now, lalo na with all of this pandemic, no?
Right.
Siguro in a way, mas maingat din talaga ako sa mga ginagastos ko. Lalo na, actually, na-realize ko ngayon, yung possibilities. Kasi during this pandemic, tinanggal mo yung lunch out, tinanggal mo yung dinner out, tinanggal mo yung regular dates. I mean, kasi girlfriend ko nasa labas, hindi naman kami makakalabas every time dahil sa pandemic. So in that case, nabawasan siya, as in literal na nung nabawasan ng lakwatsa. Sabi ko, wow, may extra ako ng ganitong amount of money. Bawat labas mo, minimum na yun, 500. Siyempre, yung 500, KKB pa yun.
Sabihin ko dapat 500? Saan kayo lumalabas?
Sa kanto lang pala.
Yan ba yung pang sa yung mga pushcart, ano tawag mo?
Pagka KKB ganyan. Pagka syempre may time feeling I'm the guy, gotta treat, Or pagka mga friends mo gusto, party tayo. Tapos pagka party, syempre kamot ka pa ng ulo, isipin ko, sige na nga. Bihira naman Diba? Pagka punta ka, BGC, yan yung aayain sa'yo. Ako, in terms of savings, yun talaga yung natutunan ko. Ang dami pa ng possibilities na ang dami ko lang din palang ginagastos. Luho. Ang dami ko ng luho. And yun, na-convert siya into savings and mas mindful ako. I think yun yung word na masasabi ko. Mindful lang ako ngayon sa, teka, is this really something na kailangan ko? Diba? Kasi pagka kailangan ko to, sige, this is, can I use this for the next 2 years, 2-3 years?
Long term.
Mas long term. Yeah. Nung before nga, iniisip ko yung bibili ako ng laptop. Ito, napabili ako ng desktop. Kasi sabi ko, parang mas madaling i-upgrade pagka desktop. And I also talk with different friends. Hindi naman ako lalabas. So, bakit ako magla-laptop? I mean, dun ako nanggaling. Kasi may iba can argue na, travel, di ba? Work from home. You can work anywhere. Kung work from, literal, nasa home lang ako. Hindi, desktop bibiling ko, in terms of yung value na nakuha ko, mas sulit ngayon.
Yeah.
And, more things to spend on. Lalo na pagka may pakain. Yan, mom ko, ano gusto mong kainin? Actually, doon nagsisenter yung life ko. Mom ko, pagka ayain niya, gusto ko kumain. Sige, order tayo ng, sige, Grab. Lalabog.
Yun yung pinakagastos natin ngayon.
Actually, lahat pagkain.
Yes. Why not?
Okay. I'll just share. So, si John, sabi niya, I think when you are content, you are happy with what you have, but still push for it. Complacent is being comfortable with what you got, then you stop.
Yeah.
So, yun.
Yeah.
Hope that makes sense. So, yeah. So, yung sinasabi mo lang is either stagnant ka na, kasi wala ka nang hindi ka na gumagalaw, static ka na, or you still go and move forward to the future. Yeah, okay. I think that's
sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Kasi crisis is really when people don't grow, I guess, right? And even sabi nga nila, even passive income is not stagnant. Kasi yung passive income mo, lalo kanyari ngayon, sabi mo 50,000 ang kailangan mo every month to live in the future, right? But with what's happening right now, you never know that 50,000 will not be valuable na pala. Yung 50,000 mo, baka worth 10,000 na lang pagdating ng 20 years from now, di ba? I mean, so it's still not stagnant. So it's really something that you have to review like on an annual basis to see whether it's enough. And so that means that you actually have to continue to review and grow with whatever you're doing right now. And in savings, I guess that's what I want to add is in savings, when you talk about savings, that's why I always add income as well. I don't think you need to just look at savings, the in from the out. I mean, savings muna and then expense. So savings muna bago expense, diba? Versus expense muna bago savings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Lalo na kung yung dalawang yun yung i-compare mo. Isa pang na dadagdag ko dun sa equation is kailangan mo ng income. Income para magka-savings, para may expense.
Siyempre.
So, baka kasi isip lang, mag-save lang ako kagad.
Correct.
Sobra ka naman, nakaganyan, walang pumapasok.
Save lang. Allowance lang pala yung
save mo, bawas yun. No? Wala nang natira. Kaya nga I guess one of the things na notice ko ngayon na sobrang din ng mga tao, no, very ang galing mag-isip din ng tao at saka ang very agile nila, very adaptable, lalo na with what's happening. Imagine mo na yung businesses, yung economy hindi naman nag-drop ng grabe, 'di ba? Hindi naman nag-drop ng sobrang bad na to the point na pulubi na yung nation, pero still growing because online is the way that it's growing and people are really changing the way that they spend, but also they don't spend the same way.
For sure.
Yeah, they don't spend the same way. It's not anymore the brick and mortar, but they go through online nowadays. So there is still a fluidity of money. So there's still a circle of where it goes. I guess, yan lang. At saka ang gagaling imagine mo yung, di ba, sad to say, close na ang Hops and Brews forever. Patay na ang restaurant ko.
Oh,
RIP
so
na
sorry.
siya. Rest in peace na siya forever. So,
may sound system tayo para doon.
hindi naman naging sad, naging joke naman. So, yun ang biggest learning ko talaga. Yung nagsara talaga yung brick and mortar. It's so difficult to see. Buti na lang, I was so thankful that I have still my income,
Yeah.
right? And it's still, well, basically, it wasn't something naman that I was really dependent on in terms of income
Yeah.
anyway. But what's important is I saw the people in under my employ who actually were so agile. They actually adapted themselves. Na yung isa siya gumagawa, nagba-bicycle Uber siya. Siya yung mismo nagde-delivery service. Yung mga iba
Mhm.
na home-based business.
Yeah.
Sila naging, kasi mga chef yun eh, so nagbe-bake na rin sila, nagbebenta na rin
Yeah.
sila ng cake nila. I mean, that's how you see how people are adapting in terms of how they're managing their lives. So I think cheers to them, to all, and sorry mga staffers ng Haps and Brews, we really wanted for you to stay, but sad
Hindi talaga
enough,
kaya. Yeah.
you can't. The hotel is not really full service.
Yeah.
And tingnan mo, nag-lockdown na naman.
Oo. Bawal na indoor dining.
Lockdown.
So,
Hindi naman daw lockdown. Bubble.
Semi-lockdown.
Naging basketball tayo, may bubble.
Punong-puno na nga ang hospital na naman, and they're not
Yeah.
accepting you. I just had emergency before yesterday when somebody was calling me. Meron siyang COVID case, the uncle. They couldn't find anywhere here in Manila. Wala. So they actually, thank God, they actually were able to find a hospital, but guess where? Tagaytay.
Layo.
Oh my gosh. Layo.
Grabe.
Crazy.
Oo.
Yeah.
I can imagine, lalo na ngayon, no? Iba kasi iba na talagang times eh. And
Yeah.
siguro ako, just to share lang din in addition lang din dyan sa mga COVID. Siguro nandiyan na rin yung fear. Parang it's an additional, parang, or for me, hindi na siya bad thing na meron kang yung fear, that's why you're saving.
Yeah.
Kasi it's legit na concern eh. Okay, what if talagang may mangyari? Kasi not enough. Like I had friends na COVID and napunta sa ospital, crazy gastos. Lalo na yung mga umabot sa intubation level.
Yeah. So like 2 weeks is like 1.3 M.
What?
Wow.
2 weeks?
2 weeks in the hospital. That's not even like Asian or ano. That's just normal hospital. Yeah.
So legit talaga
so
siya.
the medicine is the one that's expensive, no?
The intubation and all the other stuff that comes with it.
Yeah. At saka ito pa yung downside lately sa mga narinig ko sa mga doctors. Medyo limited na rin yung supply ng medicine.
Actually, yun ang sinabi. Kasi yung isang major hospital, halos wala na daw silang gamot.
Yeah.
So, yun ang nakakatakot.
Yeah.
So for everybody out there na nakikinig ngayon, it's not about the savings. Save also your life. Don't go out.
Save your life crisis
lumabas,
pala.
just stay in. Totoo.
Yeah, I mean, save your life as well. It's not, money is not gonna go down the drain if you don't have anyone to spend it anyway.
Yeah. Tsaka wala rin kwenta kung hindi ka rin makapasok sa ospital. Kasi puno na nga eh.
Yeah,
may ganun na experience yung mga ibang friends ko nasa affluent families tapos wala madagawa yung connection nila. Diba?
Yeah. I like what John says. He says resiliency. When you're aware of the situation versus opportunity, you are more willing to take risks and do something. Yeah, I think what's happened, at least from what I've been observing because of the pandemic, we've always been resilient naman eh, as Filipinos. Ano mo yun, bagyo, taal, like lahat. Lahat ng natural disaster tinapon na sa atin. Kinaya naman natin.
Yes.
Right? But I think as well, like in terms of resiliency, there also needs to be responsibility. Yes, we are resilient, pero let's not just wag na tayo umaasa lang na resilient naman eh. Kahit anong itapon sa atin, kaya natin eh. Let's also be responsible because there are things then that are within our control naman that we can do for ourselves. Like going back to the savings crisis, I think one of the positive things that this pandemic kind of brought out in all of us is that we're taking a harder look at our finances na.
Yeah.
Like I remembered, like I kind of went through all my utilities, like binabaan ko yung phone, yung ano ko, yung phone plan ko. Because I'm like, I don't go out naman. I don't need to have a very expensive phone plan, etc. And then just all these realizations of, parang gumagastos ako ng like 2,500, pwede pala ako gumastos ng 500 lang for this phone plan, and I've been sitting here and paying the bills like every month. Like, laking sayang, you know what I mean? And I think also, like, this is parang a lot of us didn't realize that what's been happening to us for the past couple of years in terms of our mindset when it comes to finance doesn't work. It isn't working. Kasi ito, may pandemya, something's happened, and we all know in theory, we have to have an emergency account, we have to have a savings account, we have to have chorva, but like we know that we should, but we don't really do it. So, and now we're all kind of panicking a little bit. And it's good that we're super creative. Like, there are a lot of home bakers now. Like, who knew? We had so many talented people who could bake or masasarap pala magluto, and that's turned into their full-time job. But at the same time, also, parang I think it's good to, yes, that's an extra source of income, but hopefully that also turns into like an extra source of savings for them. So, and that they've kind of realized like what their long-term plan is. Like, I've had conversations with JM about like I'm obsessed with the FIRE movement, the financially independent, retire early movement. Where it's like you basically kind of get obsessed around your finances, and alam mo kung saan napupunta lahat ng pera mo. Where now that we're in lockdown, totoo naman yun. Alam na natin kung saan napupunta lahat ng pera natin. Kasi we don't really go out anymore. So mostly utilities, big chunk of it is pagkain. And I love the FIRE movement, it kind of originated in the US or Europe, where people get obsessed around saving as much as they can, creating extra sources of income so they can save as much as they can in order to invest and grow that and hopefully retire early. But I also like the Japanese concept. I forgot what it's called. Pero sa Japan kasi naman, they just love to work for the sake of working. Kaya, diba, mga tao sa Japan, they don't really like to retire. It's not about that for them. It's about like, I'm fulfilling my life purpose, and I like feeling productive. So I like to mash those two together na parang, diba? Like that, like for me, like that's the dream. Like, kahit pwede ako magtrabaho until I'm 80 because I want to, not because I have to.
That's me. That's me. That's why I'm looking for long-term income in terms of active, which means work that will never die. So katulad yan, yung sa Sunlife, as a unit manager, hindi ka naman talaga, unit manager for life ka until you say that you're gonna retire, diba? But then you can decide, can you transfer it to somebody else ba yung unit, if you're a unit manager sa Sunlife? Diba?
Alam ko gagalingan ng mga people under me. They want to take over
So, ang maganda kasi kung meron kang talagang legacy business that you can pass on, that will be long-term. So, parang nasa sayo na yan forever. So I guess for me, the point of having saving is really just peace of mind, making sure that I don't have to be stressed when there becomes another economic downturn, right?
Which happens every 10 years. I mean, that's the trend. It's just economics at the
First
end of
time lang tinamaan ng buong mundo.
Sabay.
Yes.
Well, kasi pandemya naman kasi to. But usually there's a financial crash every 10 years. We reset and then,
So,
in terms of finance.
Oo. Yun lang akin talaga sa sobrang naman, diba? Ang importante lang naman, everyday, imagine mo, everyday parang problematic ka kung saan mo kukunin yung pang-araw-araw mo. That's not something I wanna be thinking about. If I'm gonna problemize or be problematic about something, I'd rather be problematic about the bigger thing than what to eat on a daily basis.
It doesn't. Some other thing na na-realize ko lang din dito sa savings crisis natin is gratitude. Ako super grateful lang din ako sa sources of income ko.
Yes.
Doon nag-sink in sa akin na, puti na lang, no? I mean, nandito ako sa circle na to, na meron akong source of income from here and there, may normal corporate job ko, tapos looking back na may yung inflow tuloy pa rin, bumaba man yung volume for a while, pero just doing it, grinding every single time, that's alam mong you want to do it and you love doing it. Tuloy-tuloy lang siya.
Yeah, abundance versus scarcity.
Exactly.
I think.
Yeah. So John is saying savings is paying yourself first. Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Sabi ni ano na yan, richest man in Babylon.
Yeah, basically.
Sabi niya,
Paying yourself first.
Paying yourself first. Anyway, that's clear. So everybody, so for before we end, maybe Coach JM, Coach Kathi, what are the final tips that you can share with everybody out there? And if you have anything that's happening with you, maybe you can also invite everybody to join you for whatever activity or event that you have.
Well, for me, it's more of like savings is really a mindset. So if you're having trouble saving, or if that's like a major struggle for you, get in touch with me. Let's talk about it. Let's try and dig deeper and kind of see where those blocks are coming from. If you are saving and you're wondering about spending it on a big ticket item or whatever, I recommend checking out JM's Carry Mo Ba To, where he kind of goes through the pros and cons of what it is that you want to buy and if you can actually afford it. I actually love, was it yesterday's episode? You did ones on pagdalakwatsa.
Yes, yesterday was Lakwatsa.
So yeah, please get in touch with him. He does everything from personal finance to taxation to if you need if you need a external what do we call it, like a part-time CFO, just to kind of look at your books and give you good advice. JM does that too.
That's good.
Right. And for me, you can just catch me on coachinghappiness.ph. I'm working on a couple of things, excited to roll it out within the next month or so. So please watch that space.
Yeah.
Thank you, Coach Kathi. How about you, Coach JM?
Hi, everyone. Ako, nag-enjoy ako super. Really honored lang din to be in this space. Nakakatuwa. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'll just give you guys 4 quick tips lang. 4 quick tips. So, unang quick tip lang dan is just to know yourself. It's very important when in terms of your savings, understand ano ba yung personality mo. Who are you in the first place? Are you someone who's family-oriented, that you're looking forward to save more for your family? Are you someone who's experience-oriented, gusto mo ma-experience, yung mag-travel ka? Look back, kaya mo ba talaga yung lifestyle na yun? Kaya nga yung that series that I'm actually running, yung Carry Mo Ba To? Ayan, ganun yung tono. Carry Mo Ba To? So yun yung name ng series. We're actually going through different lifestyles. And it's actually done every Wednesdays evening. Ayan. And another second tip is make extra. Always, find a way na to just, pagka nakilala mo na yung sarili mo, that alam mo na yung bigger why mo in earning your income and where your money is going to, make extra. Kasi at the end of the day, darating yung point na baka kulang pa rin siya. Maybe you have bigger dreams, make extra. Number 3 is be open. Be open for different opportunities that's available. And yung pinaka-last ko is, practical tip, manage your risk. If you know it's a high risk, manage mo lang. If you have high risks, meron ka rin dapat mga low risk, tapos low return, meron ka medium.
Yeah. Don't keep your eggs in one basket. Wait, where can people find you, JM?
You can find me as JM Ang, and you can actually join the Facebook group Rich Friends Community. That's where we actually share different income streams that you can actually do. Part-time or full-time. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, JM. So for me naman, I think for me, the tips that I will share is more on overall, number 1, syempre, what is your attitude about money? I think first is understand your relationship about money. How do you really want money to be, and what does money play? How does money play a part in your life? Ano role niya? Para very clear kung talagang how do you really want to manage your money, right? Secondly is, it's for you guys to also understand, what do you want to live your life for? I mean, long-term ang titingnan mo, not just now. Kasi sometimes you get so stuck in the now that we forget that we still have a dream that we still have to work for, and it takes money. You really need to take care of that. So at the end of the day, that's it, and create a goal. And finally, take small steps. So take small steps to change. Take small steps of change. If you're already aware of it, take small steps. Kung ano yung kailangan mo palitan, one step at a time, and one day at a time. Kasi hindi naman tayo perfect na pag ngayon alam ko perfect na ako by tomorrow. So be at the end of the day, be patient, be compassionate with yourself. And the fact that if you're not earning as much money now, you know for a fact that you still have to work on adding additional income. At the end of the day, sabi nga nila, the average rich or millionaire have 7 streams of income. So if you can add to that 7 streams of income, start today. So start one day at a time. So with that, thank you everybody for today and tonight's conversation.
Yes.
Thank you, JM. Thank you, Coach Kathi. And see you again next Thursday. Hindi pwede next Thursday. Next Thursday is Monday, Thursday. Holy Week. Holy Week na. Holy Week na
Bilis,
tayo.
no?
Sobra. April na pala next week.
Tapos na Q1. That's it. Parang ano nangyari? Hindi ko alam.
Wala. I mean, yeah, and we were thinking tapos na ang COVID by this time. No. Yeah, okay. So, I will see you again on April 8th for the next Facebook Live. And I also do a few of my Let's Talk series as well. So please catch me. Thank you so much, John, for joining us.
You.
We had such a wonderful time talking and sharing with you. Please join us again on our next coaching conversation next month, April. With that, everybody have a great night. Good night. Bye.
Bye.
Stay muna. JM and Kathy, stay please. Bye.
Yes.